Alrighty, guys, welcome back. It's your boy EQ, and up next we have DJ Academics giving his theory as to why Drake isn't giving American artists features anymore. And it's not that deep and not really a mystery. People aren't rocking with him, and he knows it, which is probably why he ran overseas, even though that didn't help with people throwing bottles and TP at him. Sounds like a bad Apollo show SNL parody. I know Ack is going to try to frame this as Drake flexing his power and not helping to blow up artists anymore, but I don't think that ever really was the case. The artists whom did receive features were going to pop whether Drake gave him the feature or not, whether he was on the record or not. I use this example all the time, but the Migos was going to be blockbuster regardless of Drake. Name the artists that got features from him, and they were probably already on the trajectory to blow up. And honestly, this is the same type of narrative that the cult of the OVOites try to run with Kendrick Lamar because Drake brought him on tour all those years. You guys got to remember, at the end of the day, it's still the music industry. These are transactional, mutually beneficial acts because Kendrick Lamar was already a star on the rise. Most definitely, undeniably a good look, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. And most of the time, these moves are just made to also ride the buzz and wave of the new up-and-comer, because the hype is new and exciting. But enough dilly-dallying, let's jump right into the video, where we have DJ Academics giving his theory as to why Drake isn't giving American artists features anymore, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be like, he could keep them. That so-called stimulus package hasn't been stimulating anything for quite some time now.
Some people felt was a diss or a sneak diss to Drake. The performance of both albums, We Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You, along with that tour, was actually...
This guy's going to try to frame that. At the end of the day, this album wasn't meant to have this mainstream appeal. It's more of a passion project by Metro Boomin to a more nostalgic sound that he grew up on, that a lot of us grew up on. I don't think this was ever designed to actually do major numbers, because it's not like the We Don't Trust You series didn't do monster numbers.
A representation, especially by Atlanta artists, to say, Drake, back in the day, you had to bless the Migos for their first single to really blow.
Again, it's a narrative I was talking about. The Migos were white hot, and Drake isn't trying to do a feature for Young LA right now.
You helped 2 Chainz, really blew him up. You helped.
While that record was obviously a great look, that was definitely one hand washes the other.
I mean, just name shit, Future, going back to 2010, to really blow him up on a mainstream level. It was supposed to be a change of the guards, and I think that continued all the way to Kendrick to celebrate, yo, Drake, we don't need Drake no more.
That hasn't been the case for a very long time. Like I've said in other videos, he hasn't had a #1 stay #1 for longer than a week, then 2018. And a lot of these features aren't sticking on the charts. They're fading as quickly as they are coming.
Like, we don't need him for shit. By the way, I think this is why Drake hasn't given a feature to an Atlanta artist. Obviously, he's going to do it with Savage, but he's not trying to give nobody a feature. We'll talk about Baby in a second. Baby don't got no feature. And
Also, I mean, it makes sense. Drake can't use the buzz that Lil Baby has because right now he isn't as hot as he once was. And like I said, a lot of these things are transactional, and you're only on speed dial when you're useful, because if not, you're useless.
I think Drake is particularly, and I think What's the Dirt, salute to my man What's the Dirt, he brought
2 culture vultures
this up. Drake don't seem to be wanting to collaborate with certain people, and I think,
why can't it be the other case around? Maybe it's people that are denying the request, just like Kendrick Lamar did for first person
banking
shooter.
on himself as they did bank on the fact that he's no longer needed. Now, I told you there's a lot of things that change why I think that became a thought. You got to go down with me, and I know some of y'all going to be like, well, you're accurate, just Drake glazing. No, this is a little bit more thought out than just blindly glazing Drake. Just listen to what I'm saying.
Now, you're misconstruing the situation right now. Like I said, this album was never designed to do monster numbers.
In years past,
and honestly, it's a mixtape. So 18K for a mixtape is pretty good.
Drake is the first people to bring the Migos on a arena tour. Like, touring these days, the only thing, when it comes to hip-hop, touring has increased. Actually, when it comes to music, period. Touring has increased. Music sales has decreased.
Yeah. Most artists today, the bulk of their money comes from touring and also merch.
Now, you might think, some people might be like, well, people have taken the money out of purchasing music and now they just go to the live event. Some other people believe that music is something you just consume live rather than you buy and think you own or keep. However, if we go back to 2010, right? If we go back to 2013, Nicki Minaj had a hard time selling out a arena tour with Future. This is true. You guys could Google it. Minaj Future tour. She actually canceled the North American Kendrick's tour with Future. Now, that's very interesting. Why do I say that? Of course, they gave some bullshit excuse. By the way, what year was this, if I could find it?
It's funny that the excuse for this is BS, but when Drake does it, it should be taken as fact.
They get some bullshit excuse. This was 2018. This is due to the late album release, lack of rehearsal time.
What are you supposed to tour if it's not your newest project? If you're touring records that are a few years old, it's not going to have the same impact as touring something that's heating up the charts.
Start the tour later than planned.
Hennessy seems to definitely be impairing his thoughts.
Example, Yo Gotti, Meek Mill cancel tour. That happened as well. Back in 2017, Meek Mill and Yo Gotti tried to go on tour. That was postponed. They said unspecified reason. I could tell you tickets weren't selling. The reality of things now is that most of these artists, like, and I want y'all to hear that. So Meek just dropped an album that sold 250,000, which was Championships, in 2018. Yo Gotti was super hot because he had really popped off again. Them together couldn't sell out an arena tour. These days,
it's funny because isn't Drake having some problems selling tickets, allegedly? But the thing is, a lot of artists sometimes jump the gun too early and they end up making this mistake. I mean, sometimes as an artist, you have to put your ego aside and just take logical steps to get to the point where you can do arenas and hopefully one day stadiums. These people get numbers and they automatically go to arenas instead of hitting up theaters, which are still big venues, but the sound of an arena tour just obviously sounds sexier.
Meg Thee Stallion goes on an arena tour. Yo, Chris Brown is in a
Meg Thee Stallion also had Glorilla and I want to say Lotto, so it's not the same.
stadium tour. Chris Brown's literally about to come to North New Jersey, like in a couple days.
Chris Brown is on another level.
Weeknd is doing stadium. Kendrick's doing stadium. Drake is doing like 1 million arenas.
Is that actually comparing those artists to Meek Mill and Yo Gotti? Right there, your argument loses all validity.
Rod
And like I always say, another erroneous take from DJ Academics.
Wave is doing an arena. Youngboy's doing an arena. Moneybagg Yo did an arena, even though it was a low bowl tour. The point what I'm trying to tell y'all is that live shows have increased. Now,
Definitely.
Why do I bring that up in comparison to this Drake?
People are seeming to tour literally all year round now.
Yeah. In 2015, and we could go back to this, was Aubrey and the Migos tour. This was the first tour that they were co-headlining. This is the first co-headlining tour by the Migos that was a arena tour. Okay? Now, I believe...
Obviously, just look at what was out at that time. This is literally right after Bad and Bougie became a hit, a generational hit. So let's not try to frame this as Drake doing them a favor. It's both of them doing each other favors. And honestly, Drake seems to have more to gain from this situation.
Because of touring, which is the primary source of income for the majority of these artists, not album sales, not residuals, nothing else but touring. This is one of the reasons why Drake stays on tour. Most of these artists are staying on tour. And by the way, I remember when he did the back-to-back thing back in 2015.
Is he going to try to frame that the It's All a Blur tour is also him giving the stimulus package to those artists? The only reason that tour is the highest rap grossing tour ever is because he brought on like 7 other premier rappers.
Future was on tour. Point is this. All of these artists have these mega tours without Drake. You might not have the mega songs without Drake. You might not get the #1. But you're getting deals to go on arena tours. It's almost like if you're doing the same venue as Drake, it becomes a thing where you say, we don't need this nigga no more. And I do believe that that's where
It's honestly been the case for a while. And if he had gone and fostered those relationships and probably been more of a stand-up guy and not the snake that allegedly people call him, obviously that wouldn't be the case. Like I said in the intro, if you're not useful, you're useless and you will be discarded in the industry. It's a sad but very, very true reality. But what Drake is going through is something that honestly is due to his own doing. Because I'm pretty sure if people really thought that they put him on, that they owed him something, his situation wouldn't be where it's at now, where he's getting bottles thrown at him and getting clowned on a daily, which was always happening before, but it's on a whole nother level now.
a lot of the people, when Kendrick kicked off that battle, their either reluctance to speak up for Drake or them watching and waiting to see, they wanted to see if it was a changing of the tides.
While that may be the case for some, that really shows how fair weather their relationship was. I honestly thought it was the time for a lot of people to show their true feelings.
From 2011, remember Drake brought Rocky on his first tour, Kendrick first tour, Meek first tour. He brought all these guys out.
These are all people that were extremely hot.
Years later, these guys, like Future, is going on an arena tour with Metro. They don't really need Drake anymore. And I think that helped the sentiment of these guys to say, yeah, we don't need the king anymore. And that emboldened the energy. Of course, Kendrick then battling
This guy's moving of the goalposts is honestly Hall of Fame worthy.
him. Everybody's sitting back and watching. And I think Drake is super resentful. That's why I think Drake ain't giving none of these niggas a
Everyone is super resentful.
feature. Drake rather goes to the UK. He might go to Australia next. I think he's going to do some shit in dance. He going to give them a feature. I don't think Drake want to give most of these American artists no features no more because
I don't think they actually care because look at the records he has now. His best recent one was What Did I Miss, debuting at number 2 to just free falling to number 31. And that was this past week, so I can only imagine how far it slips. The record with Central C, the Dance Holly record, the one that usually does pop for him, debuted at number 23. And while there are songs that have slow burned their way to the top, I don't think it's going to be the case for that one.
he's realized that they tried him. They tried to, they
more
thought
than
they
that.
were bigger than the program. And they're like, yo, I think we're good without this nigga.
I think Drake thought he was bigger than the program, which is why he moved the way he moved.
Because before Drake had all these niggas feeding out of his hands, I mean. And that's what I think is happening. Not saying, obviously, shit, Metro was one of those people too. Metro was one of the first people, because this was big. This was
Drake approached Metro because Metro was obviously the hot up-and-coming producer, producing everyone's newest hits. He was one of the main architects behind Future's sound, and when you're trying to bite that sound, who do you go to but the architect of the sound?
before the battle when Metro said, yo, Drake did a verse for Trance, but that shit was too late. We thought the song was better without. Who says a song could be better without Drake?
Because the verse was weak. Just because you're a premier artist doesn't necessarily mean that you automatically make the cut. And honestly, it may also be that it just didn't fit the tone of the album. So there's many reasons why it doesn't make the cut. To me, that just reeks of a high sense of entitlement.
Drake's the biggest thing ever. But that showed the mentality of these industry guys thinking, like, if Taylor Swift gave you a verse, you wouldn't be like, nah, Taylor's verse is whack. I'm not putting out the verse with Taylor. No, you put it out with Taylor.
Academics, you have been around the industry, at least on the fringe, to know that sometimes songs stay on ice for years. So it may just be that the song is not ready to be released right now. Doesn't mean it can't be released years later down the road. I mean, that new Offset record, that Bodies record, is like 2 years old. Been sitting on a hard drive. A lot of these records that you hear today have been sitting on a hard drive for multiple years.
Taylor Swift. But when Metro said that about Trance
All that typing, he should just go on Google and search these
and
things.
Drake, let's see if we could get back to the interview. It was an interview where he talked about it. When he said that, it was almost like you could literally hear the industry saying, yeah, Drake is popping, but we don't need him anymore. Those stimulus packages that y'all are talking about are a thing of the past, right?
I feel like every artist has had at least one feature cut. And if you know anything about the industry, something that Academic says he covers, you should know that. The record may be hot, it just may not fit the tone.
Let me see if we could. Drake. And this was the interview right here, if I can find it. No, I can't find it. Nope. Okay.
Oh, he said that.
Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling.
Like trying to
There's
tell a
an
creator how to
interview.
create.
And they asked him, why you didn't put a nigga on why'd you take his verse off? And he was, here we go.
It was a song I had did with Travis and Thug originally for my album. I was in the studio with Drake one time because we were going to do some stuff for my album, and he just wanted to hear some songs from my album. Then he heard that one and really wanted to get on it. But, like, I was letting him know that he was really just done for real, and I was really just set on how
He's a producer that has a vision, and obviously Drake wasn't trying to abide by it.
I was like, Brian ain't trying to sell you no dream. Like, it's just locked in. I'm locked in where it was, but he hit me and was just like, man, let me see if anything he could add to it. And he was like,
I know he's texting right now, but he literally looked like he was drunk in his
you
chair.
don't like it, whatever. So he did some stuff. A couple parts was cool, but like, I just felt like
It didn't make the cut. It's
Just
fine.
you-
At the end of the day, as a producer, I've said this many a times, you can't tell how and when an artist should create. You can't tell them that their vision is wrong when it's their vision. And if that Drake verse would have wowed him, who knows? Maybe it would have made it. But maybe it just didn't make the cut because he didn't feel it was the right fit. It's okay. The sense of entitlement is honestly what's gotten you to this position now, where your stock has obviously taken a hit. I don't care how many times the cult of the OVOites try to spin the narrative that you're just as successful as ever, when we know that's not the case. The new songs seem to have no staying power, and Nokia, the record that everyone was hyping up, is obviously just an afterthought now, just a memory. And honestly, unless it's like some new artist, and who knows if that's even the case, I don't think the American artists even care to get a feature from Drake right now. Because what does it really mean? It's not the automatic hit that it once was. I mean, like I said in my last video, look at Camila Cabello, who had 2 Drake features last year, debut at like 76 and just completely fall off the charts by the next week. So that stimulus package hasn't been a stimulus package in a very long time. Because if it was still there, he would be using it on himself. Pause. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Academics is right about his theory as to why Drake isn't given any features? I obviously think that, yeah, he knows people aren't fucking with him, so why even reach out? But who knows if the case is that people aren't asking for those features anymore. But definitely let me know what you guys think. As far as Metro's latest album, it's not even an album, it's a mixtape. To me, it just seemed like a passion project that he's probably always wanted to do. And given the platform he has as being the hitmaker he is, this is probably the best time he could have released it, because who knows how this does if he does release this back in like 2010. It probably goes right under the radar. But definitely let me know what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. I really want to thank you guys so much for continuing to make this channel a part of your day. It honestly means the world to me, and all the love and support that you guys continue to show this channel on a daily. It's honestly overwhelming and probably the biggest reason why I make these videos. I really want to let you guys know how appreciative I am for all of it. Guys, a big shout out to all those that have been joining YouTube memberships. Small way to support the channel, but definitely goes a very long way in helping out. And all those that have been sending super thanks, because guys, super thanks have been off the charts over the last month. So again, I really want to let you guys know how grateful I am for all of it. Definitely looking forward to your takes on these topics, even though I'm 100% sure I know which way you guys are going to be leaning towards. Hope you guys love this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. And the way these features are performing, I don't think anyone is clamoring to get them. Just act smiley.